Best way I can describe it is it's like a human. This is the one that it usually hits super fast. I'm blinded, FSD's not. Is it gonna park here? Oh my goodness. I have not had a single instance where I needed to like intervene. I cannot stand that we cannot do rolling stops. So this is the first time this has ever happened. Brock, I need to go to the butcher shop, then Walmart, then back home.
Got the route set. Butcher shop first, about 3.5 miles away, open till 6. Then Walmart Supercenter, 2.4 miles from there. Then back home. Total 11 minutes, arriving around 4:23 p.m. This is version 14.2.2.3. First test. So far, pretty smooth. Gate's still not active. Let's go hurry because standard is too slow on this road for my taste. FSD 14.2 is just so smooth. I mean, honestly, you get kind of complacent. Like, you start to forget that the car is driving. You start, scrolling on your phone. Next thing you know, you're like, oh, that's right, the car's driving. Best way I can describe it is it's like a human, a really competent human driver is driving the car, and they're a little bit they're definitely like that human or the AI, right? Like the fictional human in this scenario is patient and like super risk adverse. So that's probably one of the things that I find the most is like where I want to like provide some sort of input is when it doesn't go for the gaps that I would go for. So like when we get up to the highway up here, for example, I'm perfectly willing to go into much more
small gaps between vehicles, whereas FSD 14 will kind of like wait for a much bigger gap, even if, you know, it costs like 30 seconds to a minute more in the drive. You know, it's, and that's honestly probably the right call. You know, I'm just like impatient, like most humans, we're impatient. So it's kind of just like, if you're just willing to just be a little bit more patient, the car, you know, drives perfectly. And probably we all should be more patient. We should probably take a deep breath and just relax and just enjoy the ride. But this right here, through this windy up and down Missouri road, buttery smooth. It's not like throwing me all over the vehicle or anything like that. It's hugging the right side of the road, even though there's no center line. It's got good speed control, even though we're on hurry right now. Like, I feel like this is less aggressive of a hurry speed than what we saw in 14.2.2.2. Yeah, so maybe they tempered out the speed profiles a little bit in this point release. So yeah, this is like, not that it was like jerky before, but it was just like hit some of these curves like at a higher speed on entry, whereas this is like, this is more the speed I would go for, you know, maximum comfort. Like, pick it up on the straightaways and decelerate in the going into the curve, and don't accelerate until coming out of the curve. So this is the one that it usually hits super fast, and is usually you're like, whoa, it's a little fast. But no, that was perfect. That was perfect. Yeah, and that's also like a super sketchy spot to come around, because the trees, especially when they're in full bloom, like impede your view. So it's really important to stay to the right as you're coming around that bend and watch your speed, because you're just totally blind coming around that bend. So it did that perfect. And then here we're coming out on the Highway 54. And let's see if it goes for it. Go. Perfect. Went for the gap, good size gap. So yeah, went for the first gap it saw. That might have just been dumb luck, but that's definitely the gap I would have gone on. Here I usually dial it down to standard, because I've noticed once it like picks up speed coming out of you know, the private road and onto 54 here, it'll like accelerate because it knows it's on a highway, and it sees the traffic coming up behind it, but then like it persists that speed through here a little too much for my liking. So that's usually when I dial it back to standard, and then it chills out a little bit, because the cops sit through here like crazy, and they just bust people all the time, and I really don't want to have that conversation with an officer that I wasn't driving. It was the car. It's still going to be my fault. So I would like for it to stay in the left lane here all the way until the turn to the butcher shop, just because that's my style. I like to get into the lane that I'm going to be turning from as soon as possible. Just ran over a paper bag there, or a plastic bag of some kind. That was cool. Also, notice like we're driving direct into sunlight right now. Does not care. I'm blinded, FSD's not. Super, it's just like so natural. That was always my issue with V10, V11, just like too awkward. And I'm someone who, I don't like to disrupt the flow of traffic. Like, I don't know, it's just not my style. It gives me anxiety to like be holding up traffic and to be awkward. V12, that was probably like the biggest improvement in my opinion. Like for me, was just like how much more natural it got. But then it would still it would make bad choices more often than I would like, and then it would just constantly complain to you as soon as you try to do anything with your phone or anything. It starts flashing at you, so your phone was you basically couldn't do anything, which is correct, but more often than not, I would not have FSD on because I need to occasionally check my phone for a message because family matters, and I just you'd have to check to make sure it's not an emergency going on at home. Is it gonna park here? Oh my goodness, that was perfection. Holy crap, this is the first time it's parked in this parking lot correctly. That was awesome. Sweet. So it's a meet, and then we'll go to the next stop, which is Walmart. Okay. Oh, nice. Pull straight out. That's exactly what I would have done. Skip the stop sign. Also, this, you can see how well it sees things now. It draws the world. It draws, or basically it's telling me that it perceives all of the world around it much more precisely now. All the edges are really sharp. It's just light years ahead of V12. V12 was insane when it came out, but I did just nudge it with the throttle a little bit. Just want to be transparent about that. I didn't get to experience V13, so I don't know how much better this is than V13, but I can tell you going from V12 to, let's get around this guy, to V14 is nuts. Also, obviously I just turned my turn signal on to kind of get the car to get FSD to drive around this guy. Did I have to do that? No. Am I impatient? Yes, because I have things to do and trying to get back home. But yeah, not a critical disengagement or whatever, just like just a preference, you know. Teaching the car. Hopefully it learns from these inputs, like when we kind of like nudge it via the throttle or the turn signal. Hopefully it starts to learn, like, hey, you know, I still want you to get there at a reasonable pace, but I don't want you to like be driving all Mad Max, you know, in standard mode. Don't drive Mad Max unless I put you in Mad Max mode. But still, like, you know, don't be like waiting for every car that's driving slow. Like, try to drive the speed limit, maybe slightly faster, you know, just standard pace. So hopefully they learn from these little inputs we give them. This is what I've been doing on the daily though. Like with V14, it's like this every time. I have not had a single instance where I needed to like intervene because something bad, super bad was about to happen. Like no critical disengagements. Only disengagements I've made are like really for parking, frankly. I mean, I'm trying to think of one where, okay, there is one where when you turn into the road that takes us to our development, for some reason, like the navigation sometimes thinks that it needs to U-turn on the highway, come back, and then go down like over here, like behind Walmart. So I've intervened there, but was it a critical intervention? Like my safety was at risk? No. But did I want to let it make a U-turn and then go back up to Walmart and find out, oh, there's actually not a path to the development from there? No. So I disengage in those types of situations. So it's really just like route, like when the, you know, the navigation routes are incorrect, or for like parking, like, oh, you know, I don't want to go, you know, to this parking spot, or maybe I want to go through the drive-through and it doesn't handle for drive-through yet, stuff like that. Other than that, the car drives like perfect. And it's just like rock solid smooth. So I wonder where it's going to choose to park right now. I personally would be parking out here away from everything, so I don't know where it's going to choose to go, but we'll see. I'm going to try to let it do its thing, even though, like, I really want to intervene right now and just park because I'm in a hurry. I want to see where it's going to choose to park in a high traffic situation like this. So it's going for the grocery side, which is perfect because that's where I need to go. And we're just going to pull straight in here. Okay, like, solid choice, excellent choice. So, perfect. Go in here, get some stuff from Walmart, and then we'll do the last leg home. And we're off. It is like way more, even though it's like not perfect with the parking, like in where it chooses to park, it is significantly better at like pulling into spots, backing out and stuff, like at a reasonable pace. That used to be my, the biggest issue I had with auto park on V12, is it was just like too slow. And again, you find yourself in a busy parking lot and it's like people are waiting. I don't know if it's just me. I'm just like used to going so much faster, but I just had no patience for it, and I didn't want to, let it do its thing. But for example, back there, we just backed out of the parking lot. It backed out at a reasonably safe pace, and then as soon as it had the room, it quickly shifted into forward and started pulling forward, which is, it felt very natural. But gosh, man, the stops are the worst. Like I cannot stand that we cannot do rolling stops. Like, I know it's the law or whatever, but it's so unnatural because no one waits. Like, no one does a full stop, especially if there's no other cars at that stop. No one does a full stop and then goes. It's always like, okay, I slow down, I check, 1, 2, 3 mile an hour, and then boom, I'm going. Like, that's just what everybody does. It's like the fact that we just like stopped at that stop back there, and there was literally no other cars waiting to go, felt so unnatural to me. That's really like, but I understand, Tesla's got to do what they got to do in terms of like compliance with regulators. But I really hope that someday, like, that's not the case, or it's not the worst thing. It's just, it feels so wrong every time it happens. To stop at a stop sign for like 1 to 5 seconds, full stop, and then proceed is just like completely unnatural. I don't know who just honked or why, but because we left like that immediately. I'm thinking that might have been the truck for the car behind us. See what I mean about the cops? Man, they are so on it through this area, and I appreciate that as someone who lives here, but it also means like very low tolerance for speeding. This will be a good test. Let's see. It looks like nav is set up correctly. It's got a good gap coming here after the Dodge here. Boom, perfect. Okay, now typically move this up to hurry because again, standard is just too slow through here for my taste. So bump the speed profile up and begin the like 2 mile long private windy up down roller coaster of a road drive. It's super scenic and pretty though. The visibility around these bends right now isn't as bad because the trees aren't in bloom, so you can see around these bends well in advance. But I'm telling you, when the trees are in bloom, a lot of these bends you cannot see what's coming around the corner. Like that right there, that truck just came. We had no idea that truck was coming around the bend. So it's super critical that FSD is hugging the right side of the road because, like you never know when you're going to be coming around a turn and there's going to be oncoming traffic. But older versions of FSD were not the best at hugging the right side of the lane or the road in roads like this where there's no like painted lines or anything. But V14, rock solid. It really feels like they did something to the speed profile for this new release, 14.2.2.3. Like, I feel like hurry mode is usually more aggressive at speeding than this. It feels like it's been dialed back just the right amount. Like, I'm not mad at this pace. Like, it's a decent pace. It's very comfortable. And it's not too slow. But it's not too fast either. So this feels good. I wonder if they're taking into account every time we switch the profile. Like, I'm wondering if they use that for training. Like, oh, he switched from hurry to standard, which meant he wanted it to be going slower. So let's optimize for that. Let's retrain. Let's fine tune on that. I don't know. Maybe they're not looking at that at all. Maybe they are. I gotta imagine though that they probably like they really want to get to the point where it's like, no, just like there's no speed modes at all, you know, it's all just auto. It would be so cool though if I could talk to Grok right now though and just be like, hey, let's dial up the speed through this area, and then it does that, you know, and then remembers like the next time. Like, you can rip through here, but when we, you know, start getting up to the neighborhood, if it's going too fast, I'd like to be able to tell Grok like, hey, you need to dial it down and just go like 20 mile an hour through the neighborhood, because we don't want to upset neighbors. And I'm the only one with the Tesla, so everybody knows it's me. If I'm ripping through there, they're gonna be like, oh, Trevor was blowing through the neighborhood. So that would be so cool to be able to give feedback to FSD through Grok. That would be sick. I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure that they've already thought about this. And being able to like just using like being able to talk to Grok to update the route is super useful, super handy. Way better than trying to like, you know, touch around on the screen, especially when you're in motion, you know, and you need to add a stop, to just be able to do that with natural language and just talk like you would to, you know, anyone else. Oh, here we go. They want us to go. This is the first time this has ever happened. So there we go. That's also super weird, having your hands fully free to be able to do like a full wave. My wife and I were talking about that. Like, it feels wrong to not have to do like this, because that's how you typically wave in a car. To be able to do like this feels super awkward, but it's awesome. Normally I have to dial it back to standard through here, but honestly, it's going at a very nice pace, even in hurry mode through the neighborhood. This is about the speed I would go. Oh boy, we got neighbors walking dogs. Oh boy. Yeah, super smooth. Great speed choice, 22. I think the speed through here is like, they want to keep it under 25. So I really think the speed profiles were tuned in this point release. Let's see if it tries to park. I found that it tries to park in the garage more often when it sees the door going up. Oh, there we go. It's going for it. Let's see if it gets it in the right amount. No. See, that's probably all the way in. Is he gonna park? You nudge it a little bit. There we go. Wow, okay. Perfect. There we have it. That is version, let's see. Software 14.2.2.3. Got it today, installed it this morning. We're now up to 89% on self-driving stats. Car has 1,154 miles on it, and we've, between my wife and I, have put 1,032 while self-driving. So yeah, so buttery smooth. You gotta try it, guys. Talk to you later.